Good evening, hello, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. Coach Dan is in attendance. Oh, you're probably thinking, that's a sick jacket, Daniel. Where can I get one of those from? You can't. Rideharder only. Liz, what's the plan tonight?
10-minute warm-up followed by 20 minutes.
You don't know, do you? Right, Elizabeth is doing a 10-minute warm-up. You got that bit right. And then this session is a heart rate testing session. So Liz is going to do it, I'm going to do it, and then we're going to dive into the numbers on Training Peaks and analyse it. This is what I'm really going to enjoy about doing daily videos. I can take a bit more time to look at this. Hopefully you enjoy it as well. So the point of it is, we've done a bit of power testing earlier this week, so we've got like a threshold and a threshold heart rate. What we're doing now is testing that's actually accurate. So you're going to be doing 20 minutes in zone 2. Where we are, 20 minutes in zone 2. 15 minutes sort of like a tempo, and then 10 minutes sweet spot, and you're just going to track what your heart rate is doing during those times. The powers are bang on the middle of the zone, so the idea is that when you're in zone 2, you're in zone 2 heart rate, when you're in zone 3, you're in zone 3 heart rate, and so on. But as we all know, it doesn't always quite work like that, so you just got to ride the session, Liz, just as like a little ramp, and just see what happens with your heart rate, basically.
Okay.
I mean, your heart rate's pretty erratic at the best of times, isn't it? So we'll see what happens. For the eagle-eyed, we'll notice that there's a lot of loft boarding down there. Project Pain Cave is starting, isn't it, Liz?
Yeah.
When are you going to put that up?
It's your job.
Okay. And also, how's your face going?
A lot
better, isn't it? Yeah. Cool. Anyway, have a good session. See you on the other side.
Thanks.
So, whilst Liz is working away, I'm nervously waiting my turn. I'm just going to give one step beyond a big shout out. So the guys that run outlaw events. This is my wetsuit. Now, at about mile 10 on the run, I decided that I was giving up all sport. I chucked my favourite running bottle in the bin and trudged my way in and decided that was it. I wasn't doing it anymore. That must have translated into me packing up after the event, because I didn't take my wetsuit home with me. But I called them last week. They had my wetsuit. They posted it out to me. So I got my wetsuit back. Yay, got to do some more open water swimming. So Liz has just finished the session, and she just told me she's got a few little moans and niggles, so I can't wait to hear what these are. I hope the first one is you're wearing your shoes on the kitchen floor.
I'll take them off in a minute.
Go on then, what's your moans and niggles?
Number 1.
Yeah.
I think I've done my shoes too tight.
Yeah.
My feet went numb.
Yeah.
Number 2, my seat was slipping down.
Oh.
Number 3, it was so uncomfortable because it's your seat and not mine.
Okay, so
That's it.
if only you had your own kicker bike in a box that you could get out and use. More on that another day, hey. Okay, so my turn now. Liz's middle effort was scuppered a little bit by her struggling with erg mode and me having to come out and swap it onto geared mode, but we'll look at the data in a minute. My turn, obviously in TT position, so it's testing exactly the same as what I tested for the ramp test in TT position on Tuesday. TT position, I'll keep saying TT position, it'll sink in then. TT position. Let's go. So generally, I don't like it when things break. Nobody does, right? You have to spend money replacing it. But when I wear things out, it gives me a little bit of satisfaction that I've used something enough that it's worn out. So let me know down below if you have a similar sort of thing. This is my fan. Obviously I've used quite a bit. This is on setting 2, which is the next to the top setting. Go on! Go on! Come on, you're nearly there. Come on. I think this is on its last legs. Session done. If you're wondering who that voice is in the background, it is none other than the Chris Pritchard. Thanks very much, Chris, for having me on your group ride. Even though I didn't partake in the little race that was going off, just saying you're going to be somewhere at a certain time gets you on the bike at a certain time. So I've done my own training sessions, so I got dropped at the beginning, but I got my session done, so that's a win for me. If you're on the off chance that you haven't already seen Chris Pritchard's YouTube channel, you probably have, he's got about 3 billion subscribers. But if you haven't, his channel's down below in the description. It covers a lot of like cycling racing news, as well as cycling news from the world, just, you know, like cycling gossip and stuff, so yeah, well worth a watch. Anyway, we don't care about that, do we? Let's look at the data. Obviously, I'm going to bore you with what my evening meal is now. Liz is in her dressing gown, so I'm not allowed to get on camera. Liz, what's for tea?
Pie, potatoes, vegetables and mushy peas and gravy.
Yeah, give me that gravy. What pie is it?
It's the vegan country pie.
Ooh, lovely. I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy. Name that film. Anyway, let's actually look at the Training Peaks data when I've finished this. Okay then, so let's have a look at the numbers. So first of all, we're going to start with Liz's numbers, so she doesn't kick off at me. So we're going to look at the Training Peaks file from tonight's session. So just a reminder, it was 20 minutes zone 2, 15 minutes zone 3 tempo, and then 10 minutes at zone 4 sweet spot. So ramping up in intensity, and what we're looking for is to firstly check that the power was in the right sort of zone, and then look at the heart rate for that effort as well, and just make sure that they are in the zones that they should be in. So if we look at the first 20-minute effort, so Liz averaged 130 watts, normalised power 131, an average heart rate of 141. It's also worthwhile looking at the minimum and maximum, make sure there's no big spikes, so 135 and 150. I've calculated her heart rate zones based on a max heart rate of 194. That shows that there she's bang in the middle of that zone 2 heart rate zone. So zone 2, tick, that's good. The second effort, now you can see there in the middle there's a big drop off. That's when Liz shouted me in from the garage to tell me that she didn't want erg mode on anymore, or that mode that's making pedalling hard. So I had to change that. So I think if we just take the data from after that, when her heart rate's perhaps settled again, she's got into the effort, that should be a long enough interval to show an accurate reflection. So yeah, 7 minutes 49, normalised power 167, average power 167, so very even, an average heart rate of 165. So let's see how that is in the heart rate zones. So yeah, she's a little bit high there, not massively over, I'll say 10 beats over zone 3, so perhaps that is something to look at. And then let's have a look at the last effort, which was 10 minutes sweet spot. So it's quite a hard effort, this. It's quite a, without being disrespectful to Liz, when your threshold power isn't massive, like it's a real fine line in between sweet spot and threshold. So her sweet spot effort was 185 and her threshold is 200. So there's only a sort of 15 watts in between, and you've only got to pedal a little bit too hard, and you're perhaps going a little bit too hard. And you can see there her power is a bit all over the place. Is a bit of that top of that box is the absolute 185, whereas the pink line of her power is a bit all over the place. But anyway, so she's normalised 188, average power 187, and average heart rate 175. So that is okay. It's pretty much at the top end of zone 4 sort of threshold, but that she was at the top end power wise, so I think that's okay. But what she'll do is, obviously James, her coach, will see this data, the Rideharder Academy, and he'll probably give her a bit of feedback at some point about that. And it's not really something he does for every session, but I think for such a key session he would have a look at it for her. So yeah, all good. Well done, Liz.
Bye.
Anyway, let's have a quick look at my data, shall we? So same deal, we'll get into it. First of all, you'll notice that my power line is below the block of where the power should be. That's because my Zwift threshold is set up lower than my Training Peaks threshold, because of my recent test. I haven't changed it on Training Peaks yet, because it's demoralising taking your power down, isn't it? But whatever. So normalised 219 watts, average 217, average heart rate 116, which puts me, yeah, towards the end of zone 2, but nothing too crazy. The second effort, normalised 277, average 277. Average heart rate 133. Again, bang in the middle of zone 3. Absolutely textbook. You can tell this guy's done it before, can't you? And then the final sweet spot effort, supposed to be at 300 watts, normalised 300, average 299. Absolutely spot on. Heart rate 139. And there we go. In fact, the heart rate is still just in zone 3, so it didn't really rise too much. I'm going to take that a pinch of salt because I am a little bit tired today. A hard club ride yesterday, a marathon 4 days ago. You know, I'm going to be carrying a bit of fatigue, so I think my heart rate would normally be a little bit higher than that. But that is okay. That reassures me that my zones are set up correctly. It gives me confidence going forward into my training sessions that I'm doing the right sort of zones and intensities. All systems go, full steam ahead. If you've enjoyed this sort of like a little bit of more deep data analysis, I know it really wasn't anything too complicated, but very often, I know I certainly wouldn't look at things like that without having a coach telling me to look at things like that. So I just thought I'd share it really. So yeah, let me know down below if that's interesting to you or not. And that's it for today's video. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 PM, you bunch of legends. Oh my God, I didn't say, please subscribe. How on earth will you know what to do if you want to follow these videos every day?